Welcome to Control Talk. This is your host, Eric Stromquist, and today I'm here with Tim Lee from Maxon. Tim, welcome to Control Talk.
Thank you, Eric.
So tell our viewers a little bit about Maxon. Maxon's been around for a long time, and it's got a great reputation.
Correct. Maxon started in 1916 in Muncie, Indiana.
Right, and you were one of the founders, right?
I was one of the founders back in 1916.
So Muncie's a really good place to live.
Muncie is a great place to live. You might be asking yourself how it got started in Muncie, Indiana. At that time, Muncie was home of the Ball brothers. You might know the Ball brothers from the Ball canning jars. So there was a lot of natural gas available in East Central Indiana back then. So the Ball brothers got started back in the late 1800s in Muncie, Indiana. And one of the Maxon founders, one of the original Maxon brothers, was working for the gas company. And he had designed and developed some better air-fuel ratio mixing equipment and wanted the gas company to sell it, and the gas company wasn't really interested, so he left the gas company and with his brother founded Maxon Corporation again back in 1916. At that time it was called Maxon Premix Burner Company. In 1966 we opened a wholly owned subsidiary in Brussels, Belgium, and in 2002 we opened our factory in Shanghai, China. So Muncie, Indiana is still the headquarters for Maxon, and we have two other fabricating facilities still, one in Brussels, Belgium, and one in Shanghai, China.
And I think you guys are known. I mean, you guys are all about the heat. You guys bring the heat, right? I mean, you guys do process burners, and for as long as I've been in the industry, I mean, when it comes to top quality burners, I mean, you think about Maxon, and now you guys are all over the world. So when you think about your burners, what makes you guys unique? Okay.
Sure. Our expertise is really in the low temperature process heating market.
Okay.
And over the years what we've done is we've prided ourselves in the ability to develop leading technology for these low temperature process air heating burners. We also supply burners for high temperature markets, niche high temperature markets, specifically oxy fuel, aluminum melting, steel billet reheating furnaces. That's really where our forte is, along with our shutoff and control valve lines. So over the years, this leading technology, we have developed ultra-low emissions burners, would be the Kinetizer LE, the XPO burner, the Impact, the Optima, which would be all sub 9 ppm NOx burners.
And is that primarily, Tim, being driven by people's desire to save energy, or is it more environmentally driven, or both?
It's actually both. What we're running into is there's regulations requiring lower emissions equipment. And now the other thing we're running into is because companies want to be green, they're taking these ultra low emission requirements and they're putting it in even in areas of the country or the world that don't require that, just because they want to be green.
Wow, so that's fantastic. You were seeing more and more of that, but that's a trick, right, from the combustion standpoint. I mean, you really have to sort of know your stuff in terms of how you design something to actually have that work where you can burn alternative fuels and the low NOx and all that.
Correct. And what we found, Eric, is that really precise air-fuel ratio control is a key along with the burner design. So we developed what we call our SMART line of air-fuel ratio control systems, which uses electronic parallel positioning with Class 1 Div 2 NEMA 4X 300 inch-pound 10th of degree resolution actuators. We also have thermal mass flow meters for really precise air-fuel ratio control. So along with the burner technology, it's also about the air-fuel ratio control.
And you call it's your Smart Link line, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and for our viewers who may not be familiar with that, anytime you have combustion, you have to have a fuel and you have to have air. And typically what a lot of people would do in the past when energy wasn't such a concern was you just have you'd modulate the fuel, and then your air, you just put as much of that in there as you wanted to make it work, because you didn't necessarily care so much about the burn. And I remember back when I first got in the industry, you guys sort of changed that with your oven pack.
Yep.
And you guys were modulating the air-fuel ratio, and just the fact that with that oven pack that you were controlling both, you were able to do so much more in energy savings than your competitors were. And then what's happening with the Smart Link, it sounds like, is you're taking it to a whole new level, like so very, very precise actuators.
Yeah, we're controlling very precisely, and the main reason for that is, as you pointed to, Eric, is higher efficiency. We were previously, and a lot of combustion companies, especially on low temperature process air heating applications, would use a lot of excess air. They really didn't care about the air. Couple, maybe 2 to 1, 3 to 1 turn down on the air, and maybe up to 30 or 40 to 1 turn down on the gas. Or maybe no turn down on the air at all, just full combustion air all the time, and then turn down the gas. And what we have found is, in order to control the emissions and in order to get better efficiency, you really need to have precise control on the air and the fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you guys, like I say, I just think you guys for quality. I mean, you know, for those of you guys that look at a boiler or a burner system, you see the gas shutoff valves. If you've ever seen a Maxon gas shutoff valve, that's pretty much all you need to see. I mean, you guys are just, it's quality, it's heavy duty stuff. It's when you really want to get it right. I mean, you guys are like the Hummer of, what's the best analogy? I mean, you know, it's like most shutoff valves is like comparing a Volkswagen to a Hummer, right?
Yeah, we call ourselves the Cadillac of the shutoff valve industry.
Yeah.
And for us, the shutoff valve has always been about safety.
Right.
It's a very high quality shutoff valve. They're all built to order, so we don't build them in advance. We don't build them to a forecast. They're all built to order, configured to order. Comes with many different options depending upon the application. So whether it's digester gas with hydrogen sulfide, or natural gas, or propane, or butane, or hydrogen, we would have the internal and external trims to be able to handle that fuel effectively and to give the customer a good feeling knowing that, you know what, at the end of the day, whether it's my fault, your fault, or anybody's fault, those shutoff valves are going to shut off.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you guys, like you can do specialty type stuff now, so if you have a really odd application, chances are Maxon might be able to come up with a solution for you.
That is correct. Yep, get a hold of our channel and we'll be glad to work through the specific application to pick the right shutoff valve for that application.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So Tim, what about new products on the horizon? What are you guys working on now?
Well, we just came out with some enhancements to our 8000 valve, which is our pneumatic shutoff valve.
Oh, wow.
Those enhancements include minus 50 degrees C for places like Alberta, Canada, tar sands in Alberta. They include fire safe, 6FA fire safe for refinery type applications. They include a new enhanced visual indication, and they also include partial stroke testing. So that's on the 8000 valve. We're also coming out with an 8-inch valve for 8000. So larger capacities, again, for some of those bigger applications or for the oil industry that we've really been pushing over the last few years. And we're coming out with a new actuator for SmartLink. It's going to be called the DuraStep.
Nice.
And again, it'll be very precise control. It will accept a direct 4 to 20. Currently today, the SmartLink uses a control interface. This new actuator will be an actuator that will accept a direct 4 to 20, and it'll also come in a 900 inch-pound version for very large applications.
Wow, wow. So especially valve applications, SmartLink energy saving, and then if a customer has an oven or a furnace or a kiln or something he wants to control and wants to get hold of you guys, I mean, what's the process for getting Maxon in your plant if you don't already have it?
Well, the process for getting Maxon in our plant would be go to our website, www.maxoncorp.com, click on the area of the globe, and you can drill down into what the correct channel is. For instance, our channel here in the Atlanta area has been our channel partner for over 50 years, has been Stromquist.
Yeah, and again, I'm not even that old.
Over 50 years of a relationship. We pride ourselves on our channel.
Yes.
Our direct sales people are all degreed engineers. And again, we have a very robust indirect channel partners that we have worked with for a very long period of time, and we can help you, the customer, with virtually any application that you have.
Yeah, they can, and I can speak from, I haven't been around here for 50 years, but the years I've been here, that is definitely true. So now, a few years back, something sort of interesting happened. I'm looking at your shirt and I'm seeing Maxon, a Honeywell company.
Correct.
Honeywell can spot talent, can't they?
That's for sure. Back in December of 2007, we were acquired by Honeywell. So we are part of Environmental Combustion and Controls, ECC. part of Honeywell, and again have been since December of 2007. Being part of Honeywell is really brings some positives to the table for Maxon. One of them is a very robust, what they call new product introduction process. So the other thing it brings to the table is resources. Resources from an engineering standpoint, resources from product development, and financial resources when it comes to developing new products for the market.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like a really good merger.
Yep.
Of your two companies. Okay. So Tim, are there some things that Maxon and Honeywell are working on together that will sort of synergize and help the product line going forward?
Yeah, Eric, actually there are some things that we are working on. I can't give you too much details on some of it because it's in development, but we are working on precise air-fuel ratio technology in the future that will come at a price point that virtually any burner will be able to afford this precise air-fuel ratio control that we're going for. No excuses. We're working on things that will have diagnostics tied to them, so that you as a customer can call in, anytime. We'll be able to dial up through an Ethernet connection. We'll be able to go right into your gas appliance and be able to diagnose what's going on with the system. That's the type of technology that we're looking at going forward. We envision a day, Eric, where every burner will have precise air-fuel ratio control attached to it, and it will have the ability to be remotely monitored.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think, being a Honeywell Flame Safeguard distributor, I think, if you look at those guys, they're like at the top of the game in terms of combustion controllers and automation technology, and you guys are on the top of the game in terms of burners and shut-off valves and smart valves. You put those two together, it's just got to be a great combination.
Yeah, there is a lot of very good synergy that we're looking at going forward.
Fantastic. So Tim, how did you get in the business?
Well, when I graduated from college back in 1989 with a degree in engineering, it was at the end of the big military buildup that Ronald Reagan had looked for, and I have a degree in aerospace engineering, and they were when I went in, they were begging for engineers, and by the time I graduated, the Soviet Union no longer existed, and Ronald Reagan was no longer in office, and
you had an
and I had an aerospace engineering degree, and 80% of aerospace engineers were hired by defense contractors, and they decided that they didn't need all those aerospace engineers anymore. So I actually
hate it when that happens.
I hate it when that happens, but I actually found a recruiter who said, how about Maxon as a sales engineer? And I visited Maxon, and the chemistry behind combustion is the same whether it is rockets and jet engines or burners. You prefer the burner doesn't move, however, so it's stationary versus designing it for thrust. And that was 1989, and I've been with the company ever since.
Wow. Well, Tim, in our final few seconds here, what would you like customers to know about Maxon Company?
What I'd like customers to know is we have built our reputation over the 96 years of business. First, quality. Second, support, the support and service that we give. And third would be that we never give up on an application or a customer. Yeah. We always stick to it.
Yeah, I can attest to that. Over the years I've been in the business, Maxon never leaves anybody hanging.
Yep.
That's great. Well, there you have it. Tim Lee from Maxon Corporation. Tim, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Eric. Pleasure.
If you need to control it or measure it, Stromquist & Company has a control solution for you. With over $2 million of inventory between our Georgia and Florida locations, an easy-to-use online ordering platform, same-day shipping, and a factory-trained team of controls experts to answer your questions, Stromquist & Company continues in its tradition of offering great service and great products.